Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I want to wish you all a happy Memorial Day today, and I want to thank those that paid the price so that we can have our freedoms, what's left of our freedoms. But all the same, I want to thank them, and I want to share a conversation that I had today at a different range earlier today with some combat veterans. Okay, and the thing that we were discussing is how much retention of knowledge, of combat knowledge, do people have, um, after they've been out for, let's say, a period of 10 years. Okay, now the guys that I was discussing this with, I mean, they've been out for 10 years or more, right? In some cases, they were out for 15 years. Um, and basically what I'm doing is I'm reporting to you guys right now. Okay, I'm just giving you what their opinions are. Now, all these guys, obviously, we were at a gun range. These guys liked shooting. They shoot regularly. They had all like tack gear and stuff like that. So these guys, because this is something that they like, they do it regularly. They had pretty much good retention of everything they had learned while they were in the military. In fact, a lot of them felt that uh, they had expanded their knowledge and their skills after coming out of the military, because what they said is that while they were in the military, now all these guys were like, well, most of these guys were like his basic infantry. I wasn't talking to any like special ops guys or anything like that. Um, so that they all pretty much said is that, when they went through their basic, their basic training, after after that, they kind of went into specialized roles. And like, let's say somebody was driving a truck or driving a tank, or operating artillery. Okay, they got good at working that piece of equipment. Um, but at that point, they really stopped really training with the rifles. Okay, um, and obviously when they came out, they were no longer training with that heavy equipment that they were training on. So that all of that, they, basically they kind of forgot. And some of the guys that were, basically, shooters, right? Their role was to have a rifle with. Now, again, these guys were people that shoot regularly, do tactical courses, that kind of stuff. They felt that their proficiency increased after they left the military, because when they were in the military, they said the stuff was what they were doing was very basic, in the sense of get to this position, hold this position, cover this zone. They weren't doing a lot of the stuff that that we do, let's say, in tactical training, because a lot of the tactical stuff that we do is more like special forces kind of stuff, right? Or stuff that we kind of have stolen or learned from the special forces guys. So most of the guys coming out of infantry said they never did any of that while they were in. They did all of that stuff after. Okay, and the reason why they do it is just because they enjoy doing it. Okay, so again, this is me just reporting to you guys information that I was getting today. Okay, um, so I thought that that was very interesting. I have heard this in the past, but now today I had a couple of guys there, and I figured I just wanted to put this question out there, and basically, get a whole bunch of answers from a bunch of different people, and that's what they all felt. They felt, well, they said that they felt that a lot of these guys felt that they got, since they had an interest in training with the guns and doing tactical stuff, they felt that they got better after they came out, especially with the pistols, because a lot of them said while they're in the military, they never shot pistols. So there was one or two guys that said they did, but most of the guys had not while they were in the military. Uh, now, I also asked them the general question: how about, like I said, you guys are really into this. You guys like to shoot regularly. You have tons of guns. Um, what do you think about the guys that, they were, like I say, that live in the city? Um, Went in, did their service, came out, went back into the city, and got, let's say, whatever, the UPS job, or the restaurant job, or whatever. Just got their got their job doing whatever they were doing, right? And really haven't touched a rifle in 10 years. And they all told me that those guys probably can't remember much of how to use a rifle and move around with it. Now, again, I'm just reporting to you guys. I'm not judging here. I'm just reporting. Now, I can tell you guys from my personal experience, because what happens a lot of times when I'm when I'm training families, what the very typical situation is that I'll get a family. The father's been in the military, but has been out for whatever 10, 15, 20 years. But his kids want to shoot, right? He doesn't. He's really only along for it because his kids wanted to do it. So, but since he's with the kids, yeah, he'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll shoot. I want to shoot too since I'm here, right? So, what happens is the first thing I have noticed this many, many times, on many, many different occasions. The father, ex-military, will come up to the gun, will pick it up, right? And I see that, first of all, the scope is totally new to them. A lot of them never had it, but they're struggling to try and find it. And I'll be like, hey, let me ask you a question. When you're in the military, did you shoot on the right side or the left side? And they're like, a lot of them will be like, yeah, I used to shoot on my left side, right? And some of them, what they'll do is they'll come up to the gun and they'll immediately close their left eye. And that's because they're really left eye dominant. So they're closing their left eye so they can force their right eye to see, even though their left eye is dominant. And I'll have a conversation with them. And I go, when you're in the military, you always shine your right side. Yes, you always closed your left eye, and they'll be like, yeah, that's how I think I did it. And then I'll do the eye dominance test with them, right? And then they'll go to the left eye, and I go, did you know that you're really a lefty? They go, no, man. They'll be like, I write with my right hand. I go, try it on your left side. So for the first time, I've got them. They got the gun on the left side. They come up, both eyes open, because they're not even going to think to close, their other eye. So they open up. They look through the scope and what I do is I have them just load the rifle, come up, load the rifle, come up. I'm like, do you see how much better you see on your left side? And they're like, yeah. They never taught me that in the military. I go, yeah, you're left eye dominant. So anyway, so beyond that, a lot of people, a lot of times they're not gonna, they're gonna kind of forget how to lock the gun open, right? How to lock it open. That's a very common thing. Everybody remembers what a safety is. But a lot of times people will forget how to lock the gun open. They're a little clumsy with the magazine changes, again, because they haven't done it for so long. And again, I'm just reporting to you guys what I have seen from guys that are ex-military but have been out for about 10 years or so and have not touched a rifle. A lot of times they can't remember what side they're supposed to shoot on, or they just learn to shoot on their non-dominant side. So that's another issue altogether. So from that, I can kind of extrapolate that they're having a hard time just figuring out how to remember how to lock the gun open. Okay, they're probably not going to remember a whole bunch of other stuff that they did while they were in it. Again, not judging, not blaming them, none of that. I'm just basically interested in what the retention is 10 years later, having not shot a gun, but also basically not having really an interest in it. Okay? Because the people that have an interest in it, yeah, those guys not only remember the stuff, but they expand their knowledge and their skills after they come out. Okay? But the people going in that were just kind of going into, because they thought they were going to get money for school, because they thought they was going to give them career opportunities or that kind of stuff. Those guys that weren't in without a real interest without a real interest in the shooting aspect of it, right? That was just like, okay, yeah, you got to do this in addition to everything else. What I find is those guys don't retain a lot of the information, and obviously they don't expand their skills. So I just thought it was really interesting. I thought I'd report that to you guys. If you've been in, if you got friends that have been in the military, have not shot guns in a long time, let me know what your experience is from having talked to them. Or if you're in, let me know, and you still shoot, let me know. Now, most of you guys watching this channel, whether you've been in the military or not in the military, you obviously have an interest in guns, because obviously you wouldn't be here. So if you're an ex-military guy, chances are that you're not only still very good with the gun, but you probably have expanded your skills, since you came out of the military. If that would be in line with everything else that I heard. So let me know what your experiences are, what information you guys have learned. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.